Forget you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat! Tell me where you are, John!
Wolfman's got Nards!
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to my full movie breakdown. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Sick. Now this is a spoiler video, so if you haven't seen the movie, then maybe wait till after you've seen the movie before you watch this. The movie opens on April the 3rd, 2020. 273,880 COVID cases reported and rising. 42 states have issued stay-at-home orders. Nearly 97% of the country is quarantined. Tyler, played by the kid from Super 8, goes to a store but it's all empty due to the pandemic. Everyone's masked up and we see them practicing social distancing. Tyler gets a text message from an unknown number. Hi Tyler, wanna play? They wanna play as long as he's COVID safe. Putting it nicely, he tells them to beat it and he goes on with his shopping until they send him a picture of him from behind. Tyler gets to his car and he's putting on some hand sanitizer when he gets a call from this unknown number. He answers it but they don't say anything. He drives back to his apartment, still practicing social distance. As you can see, he even avoids the person sitting on the steps. He gets in the apartment, unpacks and starts wiping his groceries. He notices his door's open, he goes to check but nobody's there. The TV turns on itself and you see some COVID news but still there's nobody there. We see in the background that someone sneaks up on him and then they have a really nicely choreographed fight. He manages to fend off the attacker and lock himself in the bathroom until the coast is clear. Unfortunately for Tyler, the coast wasn't clear. The attacker snuck up behind him and he slit his throat. It was an amazing callback to the classic old openings like Scream, also written by Kevin Williamson, and you can feel the Kevin Williamson script already in Sick. We're introduced to Parker. She's packing her bags for a trip and she takes some selfies exposing where she's heading to online. Her friend Mary comes and she reminds her to put her mask on. Mary tells Parker her dad won't make it if she gets infected, so she needs to take extra precautions unlike Parker. They arrive at the lake house, a stunning massive house in the middle of nowhere. What could go wrong? Parker mentions the neighbour's cabin is 2 miles away. That'll come in handy later on. We're also told early on that there's Wi-Fi. That'll also come into play too. While Mary cleans the groceries, Parker gets a text message asking if she wants to have some fun, again from an unknown number. Both the girls go to sunbathe by the lake to discuss boy troubles, but Parker gets more messages from the unknown number. This time the person makes it known that they're watching them. Instead of worrying about it, Parker just blocks the number. That's a very strange decision. Back at the house, Parker walks down the stairs and she sees the side door is open but nobody was there. This is just another quick foreshadowing in the film, something that Kevin Williamson tends to do in movies that he writes. We cut to night time where the girls are watching the COVID news and they're playing drinking games based on keywords that the news reporters say. A car pulls up outside, the person rings the doorbell and chaps loudly. They ask who's there but nobody replies. Parker opens the door but there's nobody there. As she's outside, someone appears from the side door, again unlocked. But it turns out it's just DJ, played by a young Clark Kent from Man of Steel, Parker's sort of boyfriend. He didn't hear them ask who was there because he had his earphones in while he was on a call. Mary reminds DJ to wear his mask, but he never actually does. They kind of ask him to leave in a nice way, but he says he drove all this way and he just wanted to stay the night at least. Parker asks DJ how that he knew that they were going to be there, and he mentions to her that she posted online where she was going to be. They chill and hang out and smoke some weed, but we're shown that Mary is still cautious of social distancing and sharing things. They do some slow motion dancing while they're getting high, and then they lay on the couch for more chatting. DJ tells the girls an urban legend about a snake and a baby, but the story wasn't a foreshadowing for anything, it was just classic Kevin Williamson dialogue filler. As Mary heads to bed, DJ takes the opportunity to tell Parker he still wants to be with her, but she makes her intentions clear that she doesn't want to be with him. He shows her a video of Benji, who she was kissing at a party. She reminds DJ that she's single and she can do anything she wants. He feels that she was only putting it on social media, hoping that he would see it and maybe make him jealous. They go outside to finish their conversation, but as they go back into the house, we see someone standing watching them from the distance. DJ goes to his car and leaves the front door open, obviously. While he's at the car, that stranger makes his way into the house nice and quietly. Mary talks to Parker about that Instagram video kissing Benji, and with that, Mary confirms to the audience that Parker wanted DJ to see the video. At this point in the movie, it feels like Parker is a bit of a shit stirrer. We get a nice point of view of Parker talking to Mary where the stranger is behind her blurred out. Parker checks on DJ before going to bed and he's just on his phone, again with the stranger lurking in the background, making his way up the stairs. As time goes by and everyone is sleeping, someone is seen behind Parker watching her. DJ wakes up and he sees that his phone's missing. The stranger also takes Parker's phone. As DJ takes a walk around the house, someone puts the music on and he notices straight away that something isn't right. Parker wakes up and she goes for her phone, but it's gone. She goes to speak to DJ, but before she could find him, he grabs her from behind and tells her that someone is in the house. DJ tells Parker to sneak down the outside of the house and he'll go and get Mary. When Parker goes outside, she sees in Mary's window that someone is behind her, so she starts screaming. Mary wakes up, he tries to stab her but she gets away. DJ then comes in to fight the stranger off, and then we see some more fantastic choreographed moves. Not noticing the flat tire, the girls jump into the car. DJ manages to knock the guy over and tries to continue to hit him instead of run away. A realistic move in horror movies for a change, because we see so many times that people knock a bad guy out and run away and don't look or hit them even more. But in this instance, DJ doesn't just hit him once and run away. He hits him once and he tries to hit him more, but sadly it doesn't pay off. Still alive, DJ comes out of the house, but he's literally held out to the girls like meat on a stick. Bye bye DJ. Definitely no pig's blood this time. The girls drive away with a flat tyre, but they don't get far. The guy runs to the car to get them out, so they have to run back to the house barefoot. They hold him off long enough to make their way up to the attic room, but couldn't get far. The attacker is kicked around in a similar fashion to Ghostface and Scream. They have to climb out the window, but he smashes through the glass and Mary falls to the ground. Parker tries to get out to see if Mary's okay, but the attacker's already there. They have a brutal fight in the kitchen until Parker manages to knock him out, smashing him over the head repeatedly. Just like earlier with DJ, Parker doesn't stop once, she goes again and again and again, this time until she thinks it's all over. But it's not all over. A second person enters the house. He sees the guy lying on the ground and we learn straight away that it's someone that's either related to him or close to him. Parker makes her way to Mary to tell her that there's a second guy, but because her leg is broken she can't go anywhere, so Parker has to tell her to play dead. The second attacker checks Mary and she starts to swallow, so he realises she might still be alive, but before he checks on her, Parker distracts him and he sees her and starts chasing her instead. He chases her right down to the dock, but she gets away on the dock board. Mary gets to the house to see the extent of the damage on her leg. Thinking that she's safe, Parker stops the dock board, but he's under the water. We then have a really intense scene with him under the board and a knife. He manages to stab her in the hand. Knowing that she can't just sit there and be sitting duck, she has to swim to shore again. We cut back to Mary, who's making a makeshift leg brace. Parker arrives at the neighbour's house, which we can assume is 2 miles away, that she mentioned at the beginning of the movie. She sneaks in through an unlocked window, but she's greeted by a gun-wielding neighbour. He almost doesn't give her a chance to identify herself, but by the time he allows her to speak, it's too late. The killer sneaks up behind him and slashes his throat, and now the killer has a gun. She gets out of the house and she runs back towards the shore. We cut back to Mary and her leg, but we also get a look at the body behind her and it starts to twitch. He's still alive. She manages to fight him off and stab him in the neck to finish him off once and for all. Parker is running away from the killer when she makes it onto the road. The killer finds her, but she's able to fight him off and she sees a car approaching in the distance. The car pulls up and the lady in the car tells her that she can't come in without a mask on, but luckily for Parker, the lady finds a spare, so she lets her wear that one. This is where the Kevin Williamson twist comes in. The mask is laced with chloroform, so it puts her to sleep. Mary sees a car coming but doesn't recognise the people, and then she sees Parker with them, so she goes and hides. Parker wakes up for the big reveal explanation. They do a home COVID test on Parker. I know the home COVID tests weren't available in April 2020, but this is a fictional movie, so we'll accept it and we'll move on. The woman asks the guy where the other killer is. The guy said to Parker that the boy in the kitchen was their son. The woman starts to explain why they're there. They show Parker the video of her kissing Benji, so it turns out that Benji is those people's youngest son. The guy reads out all the hashtags that she left in the video post, and they're all anti-COVID related. While they're talking to Parker, Mary tries to connect to the Wi-Fi on the laptop, but it keeps on failing. The couple go on to explain that Benji, along with 7 other people, were infected by COVID at the party, all thanks to Parker. Benji died from COVID, so this is their revenge. Parker obviously didn't take COVID seriously, but by the looks of things, neither did Benji. They say they found the man who infected Parker, Tyler, from the beginning of the movie, and they killed him too. I found it quite sad that Tyler had to die, because from the beginning of the film, from what we saw from Tyler, it looks like he was very cautious, just like Mary with the whole COVID situation. He wore his mask when he remembered, he cleaned his groceries, he distanced himself from people whenever he could. So it looked like maybe he learned from his mistakes when he got COVID earlier, but from what we saw in the film, he was very cautious. So because of everything that happened, this couple now are bona fide track and trace bounty hunters. The dad sees that someone's using the Wi-Fi, so he rips it out, so we're not sure if Mary got her message through in time. The dad goes out looking for Mary, but while he's doing that, she sneaks up behind the mum and she smashes her over the head with a bottle, and then they push her through the glass door. They head upstairs, but the dad notices the trail of blood, so he follows them. Mary slices his Achilles, and then they push him over the banister to a nasty death. The girls head out to the shed to drive away in a buggy. Mary tries to start the buggy, Parker opens the door, but the mum appears out of nowhere with an axe. She attacks the girls, but Parker pours gas all over her. Mary lights her on fire and she runs out the barn. She just keeps running until she ends up falling to the ground and dying. As usual, the cops show up late to the party. Parker and Mary walk towards the body in the cars and hold hands. The end. It's 7 to 8 minutes long without the credits. This movie moves at a very fast pace. The film never lets up and you're never bored throughout. We get good character development as expected with movies that are written by Kevin Williamson. We also get that fantastic cold opening that we all love about Kevin Williamson movies, and this one's no exception because it is a really good opening. And then it's mixed with this interesting COVID scenario. I wasn't sure about watching a horror movie that has COVID as part of the storyline, especially because it's still a bit raw just now. I also don't know if the subject matter tried to favour one side with regards to the severity and the lengths that people will go through to either follow the rules or even break the rules. My only nitpick would be the motive behind the attacks. It makes people who follow the rules look slightly crazy, but I get the motive in getting revenge for the death of their son, but using COVID just felt a little touchy. Other than that, guys, it was solid, it was fast paced. It's something that you don't really get very often these days, and it's all thanks to Kevin Williamson. I know that there's a director and there's everybody else involved, but movies that are written by Kevin Williamson just seem to be that little bit smarter than a lot of other slasher films that have come and gone throughout the years. I hope we see more movies like this, something original written by Kevin Williamson in the future, because Sick was a really good movie. So what are your thoughts on Sick, guys? Do you think that the subject matter was a little heavy-handed, or even if you thought that was okay, do you think the motive behind the film or the twist behind the film was maybe a little too much? I think it was on the side of maybe a little too much, but overall, like I said, I still really enjoyed the movie. But leave your comments down below, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.